there's a story. Behind every story, there's a club. This is pride. This is passion. This is the Grassroots. This week we head for Tipperary and a club built on a proud GAA tradition, nestling in the shadow of Semple Stadium. This is Thurles Sarsfields.
Thurles Sarsfields is possibly the oldest, it's one of the oldest anyway clubs in the country, and it goes right back to the foundation of the GAA. We have a special regard for it. It's our baby, as it were, and back the years, people in Thurles and in Tipperary in general had a special graw for the GAA because it was founded in our own town, in our own county.
The biggest commitment at grassroots level starts and ends with players. This is Brendan Carroll, by day an IT consultant, by choice a devoted Sarsfields player. 3 times a week he makes this long journey from his workplace in Dublin city centre to training in Thurles. He's a clubman through and through, but at 36, this is also a personal journey.
I suppose I'm kind of hooked on it now at this stage, and I'm just trying to wean myself off it this year, and I've my mindset that this is my last go at it, and this is the final push, and I just think there's another win in this team, and that's why I'm doing it this year.
I suppose if I thought about it logically, I'd probably say, why the hell am I doing it? You know, at GAS, the guys at work now, other people would say, why do you keep on doing it? But I'm fairly happy doing it. I don't mind doing it now. In a sense, I'm not looking forward to not doing it. So I thought long and hard this year about giving it up, and I know I'll definitely miss it, but I mean, I've plenty of other things to keep me going. On training days, I get home about somewhere between 11:15 and 11:30. I'm up then again. I'm up early enough most mornings, so it's kind of, you spend the next evening then playing with the kids or catching up with my wife more. Getting stuff ready for the next day of training. This is home. I know every bump in this road I'd say early, but it's going to be a massive change when I don't have to do this anymore, you know. But we'll see.
There may be 15 players on the pitch, but there's a veritable army of volunteers acting as support staff. Trainers, organisers, fundraisers, all-round fixers. And this man, Philip Leahy, the treasurer, a school teacher in his spare time, is on his way to a weekly meeting with Thomas Calnan, the club secretary.
Thomas? Yeah. Here? Yeah. We have a big tradition, and we like to kind of make sure our tradition is upheld. And so people bring a lot of passion to that, and I suppose that's why you get voluntary. With a big club like us, you mightn't necessarily get voluntary people to do the work, but I suppose people just want to keep the tradition of the club up and keep it going. You have that passion involved with all members and players. What's wrong with that print? Jeez.
First page, we'll leave that.
The wrong side.
It may be just the living room in Thomas's house, but it's also the hub of Sarsfields administration. And today, the numbers need crunching.
Probably we'd have to meet. Probably in the summer you'd be talking nearly every day of the week. There's so much stuff to do. Do you know what I mean? With the whole responsibility of the club on you. Take for instance, I got a letter last week from the fire officer saying that we've a court date in September, and I have to meet him to make sure that we pass for the fire officer passes to get our bar extension renewed in September. So things like that, you know, we have to make sure that all that work is done, and I do enjoy it. It's hard work, but I suppose we just do it because it's our club, it's our parish. So how can you say it's the club you brought? They looked after me when I was after my accident, so I kind of doing this just I like to repay him, you know what I mean? So I don't mind. It's hard work, but enjoy it. I was working up in Dublin. I was doing an apprenticeship in plumbing. I was there about, I'd say, just over a year, and I was coming home from it one night a different way. I was coming in by the strawberry beds up around Chapel Lizard, and I just went down a hill, and it was raining, and there was traffic in front of me, and there was nowhere to go passing the outside, nowhere to passing the inside, so I just pulled the brakes, and whatever way I came off it I got. Just, it was unfortunate, you know, so it left me paralysed, so that was it. I don't think back on it, I suppose, but I kind of, you're up in the hospital and you're just looking around at the people who are up there, so there's a lot of people up there a lot worse off than I am, so you kind of just, you get on with it, you know what I mean? It could be worse. It could be, you know what I mean? So I just get on with it, and I don't think back on it at all. I don't regret it or anything like that, so get on with life.
Sponsorship is key to the survival of any club. Sarsfields are sponsored by Dew Valley, who organise an annual family day for employees and club members. And even today, Thomas gets roped in to do bouncer at the gate.
Sorry, if you would take it there. Sorry. And there's all day events down, I think down the corner down there. There's Buck and Bronco, and I think there's go-karts. They'll run all day for the kids, and there's a soccer match on at the moment. I don't know, we shouldn't be really playing that in a GAA pitch, but however, we have to play it away. And there's a long puck and a relay race and things like that. And there's a big Gaelic football match then between Dew Valley, the company, their employees and members of the Stars. It's a mixture of old and retired players. A football match. They take it quite serious, you know, so.
Obviously, Thurles Sarsfields is a very, very famous club within the heart of Tipperary as such, and it's a great opportunity for Dew Valley Foods to sponsor such a famous club. We always have a family day which involves just really trying to get all of the members of Dew Valley and Thurles Sarsfields club really just have a sporting occasion for them, and plenty of opportunity for people to show whatever skills they have.
Don't forget what age you are.
Outside of the main sponsor, Sarsfields have to look to other fundraising opportunities. Bring on the buys.
You keep saying you got something for me. Did you say your name was something? Michael Dad?
Yeah. Well, he was expecting.
I think he's expecting us here now.
Okay, thanks very much. Bye-bye. Yeah, he's just going to get them for you, so you should be with you in about 2 minutes or something.
Thanks very much.
All right.
Cheers.
No problem, thank you.
That's on our regards for Nula, is it?
I will.
Meet Jimmy and Michael Dial, two more soldiers from the club's voluntary brigade. They're on a mission to help set up this year's annual golf classic.
It's been organised by the Sarsfields Dublin Supporters Club, and we decided this year to have it in City West. And the main purpose of it is to keep the Dublin people, ex-Thurles people living in Dublin, keep them in contact with the club. How you doing, Tony?
How you doing? Oh, is that Anne?
No, yeah, Chloe.
Anna, how you
yourself as well, but
how you doing, Anna? How are things?
grand yourself.
Jimmy Doyle, is mine.
Now,
Now, there's two elements to our food. We're having a dinner later on in the evening for about 30 people.
yeah,
And that's in the function room upstairs.
bar extension actually.
That's never, yeah, that's a problem that never exists around the country. Does one bar extension cover the whole hotel?
No,
Every function has to have a separate one, has it?
yeah.
Oh, what time would the bar extension go to?
Two, I suppose, yeah?
Foods, yeah, 2, yeah.
2 o'clock.
But then you can come down probably to the
The residents.
resident bar.
You didn't have
you want
enough of it at that stage.
Yeah, they did that. You're also going to give us a buggy on the day, aren't you, to go around the course?
Oh yeah, that'd be no problem.
Yeah.
That's the championship course there now, is it?
Yeah.
Which is the main course.
The main course, yeah.
Well, one of us has given up work. One of us is a school teacher who has long summer holidays.
I gave up doing corrections. I was busy for the last week and still am.
But yeah, I mean, it just takes an hour to come out of the office and come over here for an hour and do it. But I suppose by the time the function happens, you've done that quite a lot. But that's all part of the sacrifice for the club. You know, you really get stuck in and you sacrifice the odd hour here and there, but that's not a whole pile, really, you know.
It's raining again, huh?
It's 7:45 in the evening and devoted player Brendan Carroll arrives to join his teammates for training. Having left Dublin City 3 hours earlier, the journey seems even more arduous when he discovers the knock in last Sunday's game is still causing him bother.
Okay.
No,
That's too sore, isn't it?
that's too sore.
You didn't think it'd be as bad as it was, did you?
I didn't. No, I didn't. You see, you can never tell for 2 days. You need about 48 hours really before you can start making any assessments and those things, you know. I know the friction now will do a good job in it afterwards, hopefully.
Nevertheless, he's come this far, sure he might as well give it a lash.
I'm here and I'm wondering, like, how do they keep coming back? Do you know, for every club, not just Thurles, but like, how do they find the motivation? But it's just a love for the game that we all have, and you know, we all want to win as well at the end of the day. So that's what drives us all. But I mean, a cold, wet night in the month of July, yeah, it's hard to find motivation. The weather is always a factor.
My plan now, I'll probably pop into the house, into my parents for a second, get a sandwich and eat it, take it in the car and just go. I'll be back about 11, half 11, somewhere in between then, depending on traffic. So, yeah, that's the plan now, yeah. Don't feel too bad after, but actually you feel good initially. It's usually when you get back towards Naas, you slump a little. But I'll probably get to bed about 12, yeah, and I'm up again about 6:15, and that's it. Another day. Sad, isn't it? Mad, sad, whatever. Anyway.
Another day nearly over for a player willing to give his all for the club. As for Thurles Sarsfields, a bigger day looms. The club in the shadow of Semple Stadium must prepare for Munster Final day. The clubhouse of Thurles Sarsfields is attached to Semple Stadium. The club plays an integral part in providing facilities on the big day itself. It falls to caretaker Jackie Cook to oversee preparations for one of the biggest days in the hurling calendar. Limerick versus Waterford in the Munster Senior Hurling Final.
Last year's Munster Final was in Thurles, and the year before was in Cork, and then the year before was in Thurles. So there's a good chance every couple of years the Munster Final will be in Thurles, you know, depending on the pairings. The tipper in it probably wouldn't be, but the way about Limerick and Waterford was always going to be here anyway, so that was the way it worked out.
One of the busiest men in the stadium is Ger Corbett, club committee member and editor of today's match programme.
Kind of tradition in Thurles, kind of in Croke Park, is everybody sells within the stadium, whereas in Thurles they sell downtown and people are supposed to get their programme, have a cup of tea or have a pint and sit down and read it and then come up to the games. They arrived yesterday evening at about, 5:15. They came from Kenny people and they delivered them over, so we moved them in then. So we had the ones for the sellers left in our own clubhouse, and then we had the amount for here and the amount for the newsstand then, so at least they're in overnight and they're safe and they're in it. It's easier then you can start the day kind of getting the show on the road.
The biggest worry he now faces is getting the programmes into the hands of all the relevant people.
Look, they're RT. If they want more, come back to me.
Yeah.
We're still there anyway.
You come to me,
yeah.
Anya, and I'll find
Yeah, I'll be here anyway.
Yeah.
Looking for me, no? No.
Screwdriver.
Yeah. Sorry, Simon, there you go. No. Okay. Talk to you again, all right? I'll start you in a minute now. Special one for you, I have. Special envelope now with your name on it.
Back at the clubhouse, the main committee room is transformed and it's all sell, sell, sell.
Would you wear that as well? That's your number 71, right? Yeah, okay. Got on you. This is where basically the kids who sell the programs come back with the money. We would count that money here, make sure it's correct, and give them then their commission for selling the programs. And if they want to sell more, then we'll give them an extra maybe 100 programs. We wouldn't be able to sell the programs without the support of all these kids, because it's a big venture. There will be thousands of programs to be sold, and it's the only way of getting them out to the public.
12-year-old Dean Leahy from Thurles town is determined to sell his programmes and maybe even make a fat commission. He's got his routine worked out, but the hard sell just isn't cutting it.
Would you like to get a programme? Would you like to buy a programme? Would you like to buy a programme?
Have one, thank you.
Would you like to buy a programme? How many?
Do you want a programme, lads?
I'm all right.
You sure? All right.
Sure,
What's the one's up?
Here.
What's that?
€3. Cheers.
How's that?
Thanks.
Got a maha good.
Your water's dripping.
You're going well, sell it.
Yeah.
Well, you sell it right through now. Over there, and you know where the pub is there.
Oh, yeah?
Go over there, and that place will be mobbed. There'll be a couple of thousand people in it.
Good man, Dean. Another day, another dollar.
Is anybody in the VIP yet, no?
Meanwhile, back at pitch side...
They're over there, all right, OK. They're two of the small. I suppose with the main people today, you'll have an Taoiseach and you'll have the President. They're coming as guests today, and then you'll have the various officials from the GAA from Croke Park and from Munster Council, and then you'll have people from the different counties and former players and former chairmen and presidents and that, so that'll be full too. They're the best seats in the house. No, there you go.
Being here to be great. Yeah, but you think you could walk out?
No, no problem at all. Get started, you did. Is the Cork minor room open? Is the Cork minor dressing room open, Tiz?
Yeah, the Cork has gone.
Last one, isn't it? Yeah, all right. Sorry, lads, you're in here. Thanks, your programmes, lads. Thanks very much. Thank you. Sorry, lads.
And just when Ger thinks his work is done, the Tip minors invade, and it's a scurry for another batch.
Your program's taken now. There you go. Good job. Thanks.
Back at base, Philip and his team are in full control.
Sorry, lads. There's 200 programmes. Between two of ye?
Between her and her brother.
So this is you, is it? Yeah. Right, you count out the coins, I'll count out the notes, all right? 10, 20, 80. Now, anybody going out again?
I'm going out.
Right.
It may be tough work, but at least it's a room with a view.
Very busy now, yeah. I mean, the hall is, as you saw yourself, the hall is quite full at the moment. Good drinking crowd, you know. And then you have other club members involved inside the stadium working. Liam is up there doing the PA and different things like that. So, no, it's quite a busy day for the club, you know. Then you have all the rest, I suppose, in behind the bar as well, you know, making sure things go great. Like, trying to make as much money as you can, you know.
Well, all club members on the Munster Final day, the whole club membership is roped in on that day because there's so many different aspects and things to be done here on the day. So it's really all hands on deck on the day of a big match by the club members, you know.
It's great being associated with, you know, Munster Final in Thurles and that we can associate ourselves with that, you know. Like, I suppose the GAA was founded in Thurles, and Thurles is a big GAA town, you know, especially hurling, you know, we call it the home of hurling, so we take great pride in associating ourselves with the Munster Final.
We don't see the match, but we just hear it, and we have the television here just to kind of have have a passing interest in it, like, you know. I don't think any of the kids are going to come back now at this stage. Michael is there totting up now to see if there is anybody due to come back, right? And it's just getting basically the money in order for lodgement, and after that then hopefully we'll be able to relax and the pressure is off. I suppose it's the work that people don't know about, really, and it's for the club. It keeps the club running, and there isn't any choice in the matter, really, you know.
A short 70 minutes later, and it's all over. On the pitch, the Daisha beat Limerick 317 to 114. All in all, the Munster Final day in Thurles is a huge bonus to a club like Thurles Sarsfields. It gives the club a chance to do well financially and play an important role in the atmosphere that prevails around the town. And that crack goes on the whole weekend. The morning after the match before, and the clean-up awaits. A cup of tea and some Swiss roll may be needed, though, for some inspiration.
Short me, please. Thank you.
Jackie and his army always start the day with the 10:30 routine. A cuppa, a chat, and even some gossip from the day before.
Oh, you're on the Ishka. You're like Mary McAleese. All she had just a cup of water and a slice of lemon in it.
What did you miss that?
Yeah, she was giving out about the cider in Larry Mackie. She said it was a big plan.
She should have come up here for it. It was better.
After that, it's down to the dirty work.
The hall have to be done and get out barrels now for tomorrow because that'll be delivery day again. Have Heineken special. Well, it's not hard, but it has to be done now. Yeah.
It's the 1st of September and the Supporters Club Golf Classic is in full swing. The club jerseys have been replaced by pastel polo shirts.
And so far, everything is going very, very well. We're halfway through it now at the moment. We had a small bit of rain there earlier on, but it's holding up nicely. All teams are on time now and everything is going very, very well at the moment.
We've timetabled up to about 10 o'clock tonight.
Sometime after 10 o'clock tonight, the formalities all finish around 10. Once we do the prize presentation and the presentation to the 74 team, that's the end of the formalities. Then it's pint time.
Yeah, it's been very worthwhile. It's great to see it happen, and the day was good. I think people had a great time, and I think it's the start of something that we could maybe work on every year, every second year at least, and probably build it up to be a bigger fundraiser than it was this year, you know.
The end of another summer at Thurles Sarsfields. Time to kick back and relax, and where better than in the home of a former player, a hostelry affectionately known as Jimmy the Mills.
I remember 1930 when we won the Triple Crown.
Hey.
Woo! We sailed the briny ocean.
But it's, you know, you just do it. I mean, people who are not involved directly in the GAA or in say, a GAA club don't realise, I suppose, that there's a lot of small jobs that have to be done, you know, when you enlist your soldier and you just work away and do it.
We're unconquered, Tipperary, Tipperary, far away.
Why did I do it for the last 12 years? Because I just didn't know any different. And I just got hooked on it. And the club, and just the general buzz you get about being around your clubmates and running out the pitch and representing the club.
It's all a big foundation. The club is the foundation rock and what the GAA is built upon. There's nearly a GAA pitch within a 5-mile radius anywhere all over the country, and it's gas. I mean, there's nothing like it in the world. It's kind of unique, isn't it?
Where? In magnificent Tipperary, Tipperary, far away. Up,
Next week on Grassroots of the GAA, we travel north to Crossmaglen Rangers and follow one of their players to the NFL in America.
So, next week we're off to Armagh to continue our look into the grassroots of the GAA. That's at 10 o'clock. Tonight though, don't go anywhere. We bring you all the latest action from France as Jim Glennon and Paul Wallace join Matt Cooper for Rugby World Cup Weekly.